Hi, I'm Shannon, and I worked with Laura Folks in her holistic health coaching in 2019 and then into 2020 during the pandemic. I originally came to Laura because I had been a nail biter my entire life. I really tried hard. I tried so many different ways of doing it with trying to reward myself, trying to make it so unpleasant. I hated the way I looked professionally, and I was always super self-critical, and I just could never figure out how to get myself to stop, even though I was telling myself the entire time, you need to stop. It just never worked. And so I went to Laura because a lot of what she talked about with how the conversation people would have around food seemed very similar to what I would do. And so we started the conversation and thought that it would be a good fit. And it ended up being one of the best decisions I've made in my life, honestly. Her techniques and how she was able to sort of dig down and not just let me tell the story that I always told myself, but really got to the source of what was sort of causing me to continue to have certain ideas that I held very closely about who I was and what other people thought, and that I didn't even realize, ended up being revolutionary to my life. I am now 4 years in now, and I am successfully not biting my nails on a really regular basis. If I ever do see myself starting to go, I know that I can pull back and see what's triggering that. And also, it's given me the strength to also know myself and what triggers me to go off track. Since then, I have actually lost about 70 pounds, and I went into a really intensive training program, and I am currently an Ironman. So from having struggling with biting my nails and actually having gained a lot of weight from being pregnant to losing a ton of weight, now not biting my nails, and training and doing a really, really challenging or athletic endeavor. Laura, honestly, her help and support to give me the tools to stay consistent and know what was going on in my head and the confidence to continue on, I couldn't recommend her more. So if you at all are thinking that you want to talk to somebody about why you can't stick to certain behaviors, it's not that you're not strong enough. It's not willpower alone. Sometimes we just are telling ourselves a story that's untrue. And when you can start telling yourself the truth about how great you are, it'll actually free you. And then those habits might just go away and you can achieve things that you didn't even think were possible before. Let me tell you a little bit something about me is that I have really high standards for both myself and for other people. And I will work so hard. I did in all of my schoolwork, I did in my professional career. I'm constantly going. And I'm the first one to be in the office and the last one to leave a lot of times. And so being a hard worker was really central to who I was. And I wanted to always like show and present myself the best. And when I was trying to stop with the nail biting that I had done for so many years of my life, I can't even remember when I didn't. I just thought I wasn't trying hard enough. I didn't have enough willpower to stop myself. And I couldn't understand it because I would literally be looking at my hands and thinking, don't do it. Just don't. You don't have to. And gosh darn it, sometimes it just didn't work. It's like there were so many things that I would try. But something that Laura taught me that was just so revolutionary was that it wasn't that I wasn't strong enough, because that's what I was telling myself, that I just didn't want it enough, that I wasn't strong enough to do it, and that then it was a failing on me. And that just wasn't true. I was strong enough. I just didn't realize the various layers that were going on underneath in my subconscious that I wasn't addressing. And once she was able to uncover what the story I was telling myself was, then I was strong enough to say, you know what? This isn't what you want to do, because I actually needed to address what I was telling myself about a completely different situation. So once we were able to do that, then with practice, because uncovering it, it wasn't magic. And it wasn't like, oh, this is your story. And then poof, it all went away. I was able to identify it and then say, yeah, that is what's happening. I'm actually concerned about this thing over here. And then from there, we were able to notice it more. And I was able to pull back and not move forward with it. And then I would notice it more. And the more I was able to notice it and parse out when I wanted to then engage in that activity that I wanted to stop, the more I was able to stop doing it because I knew the story that I was telling myself and I wasn't fooling myself anymore. And so when I make plans and goals for doing other things and I find myself not moving forward with them, I'm able to come back to what Laura taught me and figure out, okay, what is blocking me? Because sometimes it's not that I don't have the desire. It's not that I don't have the willpower. I do. I have a lot of it. I can make it happen. But sometimes I need to figure out what that story is that I'm telling myself. And because of what Laura taught me, I'm able to do that now and achieve things that, again, I didn't know were even possible sometimes.